Hello friends, it's Sherry from Turquoise Dreaming. How you doing today? I'm here with a video about the second step of creating journal covers with your fabric scraps. So my first video was, just my weekend video where I was starting to use up my fabric scraps on these journal covers, and we glued the scraps on together, and so that was the starting process. And so I finished this one and I made 3 more and I still have plenty of fabric scraps left. I was hoping to use up, like, as I was going and making more and more, you would think that, I didn't have that many scraps, but I did not use up my fabric scraps yet. I still have more. So this will be ongoing, but I wanted to, finish this, maybe a series. I didn't realize it would be a series, but finish this series of making a journal cover with fabric scraps. So we're going to do this in steps so that we can do it together, and, the videos won't get too long. But after I did this one, it gave me the, because I never did this exact thing before on a journal cover. So I kind of learned and figured out how I really want to do it. Like, so this one was an experiment, right? Okay, so we're going to go on to the second step, and I'm going to do it different than I did this one because, like I said, I learned how to do it. I learned how I want to do it, basically. So we will go on. So this was the one we did together. We had the little triangles here and just random scraps. Okay, so then I went on and I made, let's see which one was next. I think this one was next. And again, fabric, random fabric scraps, but I didn't have any triangles on this one. I just used rectangles, squares, and strips. So that's what I used on the rest of them. And then this one was the third one where I used, same type of thing, but I thought that maybe I can find some kind of little focal point in my scraps, and I found this piece here with butterfly and flower. So I put that right there so that when you have the notebook or journal ready, done, you'll have this little kind of butterfly and flower kind of as a focal point. And then this was the fourth one where I found a scrap with this flower on it, and I used it right there, so it kind of looked like that. You can see I've used bigger pieces, a big strip all the way across, a big square down here. So really still random, but I did think of that like focal point type of thing. So the next step that I decided was the best thing for me, and so I wanted to pass it on, was to start sewing the scraps together. And on this one, I wasn't sure if I was going to sew every single, around every single scrap, but that's what I ended up doing, and I really like it. If you can see how it looks, I think it looks pretty cool. Pretty cool, really cool. So, all I did was take my sewing machine. I have my sewing machine here today. And this one the sewing machine I like for the, let's see, I like for the zigzags on here. And if I can find the one I want to use, it's a medium zigzag. Which way does this go? It's a medium zigzag. So this machine has several zigzag stitches, and it's got a really tiny one, which I tried out on that first one, and I like it, but I don't like it as much as the medium one. And so I decided to use like the medium zigzag on all of this, going around the scraps. And then I plan on using the largest zigzag around the outside, and that's what I did here. See this is the largest zigzag here, and then the medium one, this is the medium. Can you see that? That's the medium. So I think that looks really nice. So all I did was, there's no, I don't know, you can look at your own piece and decide where you want to start, but there's kind of like no perfect place to start. So I'm just going to start, excuse me, I'm going to start right here. Just do a little sewing with you this morning. And it's, let's see, It's a cloudy morning in North Carolina today. It's not raining yet, but it looks like it might. I don't know. It could go either way. At this point, I can't tell by the sky that I see right now. But let's just do a little sewing and have some fun here with our journal cover. So if you want to sew along with me, I don't really sew on video, but I decided I would do it today. And so here we go. Let's just do it. Okay, so got my scissors, my sewing machine, and my little, so let's do it. It's on the medium zigzag, and I'm just going over where the fabrics meet. And I'll tell you that I discovered, let me get one more stitch in here. Whoops, back one. I'll tell you that, like right here, let me show you on this one. Let's see. Right here, where this met, I had done originally a small stitch there, and it was on mostly on this darker fabric, and I couldn't really even see it, and I didn't like that I couldn't see it. So I went over and made sure it was on, the stitch was on, and did it again on the lighter fabric here so that you could see it, you know what I mean? Because it looked like there was no stitch here, you know? So that's just a little tip, you know, maybe, you know, you don't have to be right in between. You can be on the fabric that's like overlapping the other, you know, another fabric, and pick which one you want most of the zigzag on so that you can see it, you know, if there's a darker one and a lighter one. Okay, so let's see how far we can go without stopping. That's kind of like my goal on this, because sometimes you have, oh, I have this one little spot left that I didn't get, and you know, you got to go in and get that. But you know, my kind of preference is to go as far as I can without stopping. So let's do it. Let's see. Let's go for it here. See how far we can go without stopping. That way we get a lot done and get it done kind of quick. Okay, let me go in here. Whoops, wrong button. Let me go in here and turn. Let's see, I'm going to turn this way. Let me see if I need one more. I think I need one more stitch there. You know, so it's kind of like, you know, you kind of, if you're familiar with sewing, you just have to kind of play with it and figure out what's good for you. There's a little piece here where I can go backwards, so that I don't have to come back later and get that little piece, because I'm kind of like in the middle of a piece of fabric right now. So I'm going to go backwards real quick. If I can get that, and then go forward. So I'll be going over this one little, like, ½ inch piece twice, but that's okay. I did that on the other one too. So down, I'm going to keep going because this fabric joins in with another one here that I can go ahead and get. So you just move your cover around and maneuver it around all your little fabric scraps, edges. And okay, I think we're ready to turn again, and we still have room to keep going. So let's keep going. So when we did this, our scraps overlapped a little bit, you know, so that when you're sewing now, you're getting both pieces of fabric really. Okay, we're turning again, not having to really stop, just stop to turn, but not start over in another spot, you know what I mean? So here we go. Let's see, where do I want to go next? I think I'm going to keep going straight up to the top of this piece, which I know you can't see my fabric, but kind of that's why I'm explaining what I'm doing here. Let's see, I think I need to go over just a notch this way. Well, yeah, I'm at a point where, well, let me do that because that way I can keep going. There's like, you know, crossroads here. Which way do I want to go type of thing. Okay, if I go this way, I can keep going. If I go the other way, I'm going to stop in about 1.5 inches. Okay, this way I can keep going. See, isn't this fun? Fun. Okay, let's keep going. This is a good run here, really, because last night I was stopping and starting over a lot, because I was, got to a point where I had to start over in another spot. Okay, we're keeping going. All right, I think I'm almost to a stopping point here. Yeah, but one more, I can go one more down and over. Okay, one more over. And I'm going to be at a little stopping point here where I'm going to have to start over. Okay, so let me go backwards here and end my little stitching on this part, and I'll show you how we're doing. All right, this is pretty cool. These are so fun. So here we are. Let me move this back so you can see for a second. Here we are. We did all of this. Let's see. I don't even remember how I went now. Like that. That's how I went. Kind of like a maze. Okay, so I'm going to cut off my strings, beginning and end. I think I already cut off the end. Did I already cut off the end? I think I did. So you get the picture. Shall we do one more maybe? So this video isn't too short. Let's do one more. I mean, it's fun, right? Okay. So let's see if I start. Let's see. It doesn't really matter where I start because, okay, so like this is going to be one little thing right there. This is going to be one thing. See, these are all going to be little stop and starts. I can go here, down, over. That's going to be a stop, down, over. So let's do a piece over here where we can kind of, yeah, let's do, I pretty much can do one more right here. Actually, yeah, I'm going to do one more with you, and then that will be it, because I'm going to have a lot of little stop and starts. And I know you don't want to watch that. And then after that, I will come back with another video of the next step, which will be sewing around the outside. No, the next step, let me tell you, let me get this piece sewn, and then I'll tell you the next step so that you can be ready for the next video if you're making one of these. Okay, down to where we have to stop there. Okay, a little anchor. Okay, so let me take it out here. Okay, the next step. So if you're making one of these, I'm going to finish this one and probably all 3 of the ones I haven't finished yet off video. But I always have to get my strings off here right away. I want to see what it looks like without strings hanging all over the place. But the next step after you get, you're going to go, if you're doing this, go ahead, do all the sewing on your cover here. Finish your whatever. You can do a straight stitch too if you don't like zigzag. And you can do a lighter color. If you want to blend in with your colors, do a color that maybe you want the whole thing to be green or blue or white or off-white, and you want it to be straight stitch. So do whatever you like on the cover, okay? And the next step is going to be picking out a piece of fabric for the inside. So like this one, I picked out this fabric for the inside. So all I did to measure this was take this cover, unfolded like this, my little square, and I put it down on my fabric piece, and I cut about 1/2 inch over all the sides. So a big square, about 1/2 inch bigger, 1/2 inch larger than this. So you really don't even have to measure. You don't have to measure. You can just put this down your fabric and cut 1/2 inch bigger than your, at least 1/2 inch. If you want to cut 1 inch, you can. If you feel more comfortable with that, with a bigger piece of fabric, you can cut that. You just might get more bulk at your corners with bigger, if you leave 1 inch or more than 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch is really good because you can see how mine worked out really well, I think. So that's your next step. You're going to finish all of this with whatever color thread and whatever color kind of stitch you want. And then you're going to come and measure, not measure, but cut your piece for the inside. And I have a couple different pieces of fabric. I'm using this one, just happens to be kind of a mauve color that I had in my stash. And so that's where we're going to be on the next video. So let's get it done, and I'll see you in the next video with doing what we need to do after we get our little inside fabric. And you can use paper too. You can do the same thing with paper. If you don't want fabric on the inside, do the same with paper. Just cut it 1/2 inch bigger with your paper. You don't have to have fabric on the inside. So yeah, let me know if you're working along with me on this and how you're doing it. Are you doing straight stitches? Did you decide to do lighter thread? Did you decide to make big, 4 big squares? Let me know some details. I would really love to hear your ideas, and maybe you have some tips for me. Maybe you have done this before with your little pieces. Maybe you're an expert quilter, and I'm not a quilter, so I don't normally piece together fabrics, but this is just how I figured out to do it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Have a great day, and happy crafting.